blood. Those pillagers have dug faster than I realized. The door's almost open again. I'm certain that other wildlings are waiting on the other side of the wall for Gorn's tribe to open the door. We still haven't seen him, by the way. Be on your guard, Celtigar.
Some Moors? Look behind us! There are more coming!
They came from behind.
Watch out up there!
Moors! The gods have given me a feast of crows today.
Gorn, you finally show your face.
This time it's between you and me. Kill the boy!
Damn you all.
The butcher is mine! Don't interfere! After you die, I'll be a legend! Women will fight for my seed! I'm going to bleed you, old man!
If you knew how many times I've heard that. You're already dead to me, Gorn. Night's Watch! Fire!
Finally, we come to River Spring. 15 years ago, it was one of the region's most flourishing towns. But things slowly worsened, and today River Spring knows only idle craftsmen and discontent among the peasants. And the death of Lord Reynold Sarwick will not improve matters. That said, his death didn't surprise many people. The poor man was but a shadow of his former self since the disappearance of his eldest son. They say that his daughter is the one who makes decisions since then. And you can see where that has led.
River Spring. It is much changed.
Have you been here before?
I used to live in River Spring. I left 15 years ago.
Yes, that was a while ago. Back then, the town was still prosperous.
What happened?
I don't know the details, but I think it had something to do with the eldest Sarwick boy leaving.
I must go to the castle.
Oh? And, if I may ask, what would a red priest like you be doing here?
I am here for the burial ceremony. I am the son of Reynold Sarwick.
How so? You're much too old to be Garwin Sarwick.
Garwin is my young brother. I am the elder, Alistair.
Father above? After so long? We thought you had disappeared. My sympathies for your father. I did not recognize you.
My god R'hllor now watches over him. Thank you for the crossing, ferryman.
gone from bad to worse. With things as they are, what choice do we have?
If things are so bad, what do you propose to do?
It's been too hard for too long. It's time to revolt. We must take matters into our own hands. We'll take up arms.
You should be careful. If you keep attracting attention this way, the guards will lock you up in the dungeons, or worse.
Perhaps in the time of Lord Reynald, the Curt. But do you see many guards pacing the streets now? The army of River Spring is but a shadow of what it was. You obviously know nothing of the misery we suffer here.
That may be, but I do know that violence is answered with more violence. This path never ends well.
We're already suffering. What is it to us if we die of hunger or by a sword?
What has happened here? These lands were once thriving.
It's the Lords. It's been too long since they cared about what happens in their own lands. Neighboring lords have taken the chance to grab some of our land, and nothing is done to stop it. And now that Lord Sarwick is dead, it will only get worse. We must do something.
But there are still Sarwicks in River Spring.
Don't make me laugh. The eldest fled years ago. As for the others, they're no better than he. Anyway, this concerns only the people of River Spring, stranger.
So be it. I pray that your choices will not lead you to reckless acts. May R'hllor light your path through the shadows.
And what is a river town without merchant ships? It is a when it rains now.
A groat for some food?
Forgive my boldness, noble stranger, but I cannot let you walk into certain death like that.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm not sure of the customs in the free cities nowadays, but I wouldn't dream of entering Westerer's arm like that. And yet, as the smith labours day and night for us, it so happens that I sell the finest weapons. Blunt, cutting, perforating, you know what they say, my lord. Don't buy your blade until you know what you plan to stick it into.
I have things to do.
Don't hesitate to come back and see me in the Merchant Square. I weep to see you so ill-equipped in this town. And don't forget you'll be wanting armor. After all, no matter the weapon you face, simple clothes will not protect you.
My lord, a growing son? Nah, couldn't be. We haven't seen him in 15 years. One too many horns of ale today?
Halt, priest. This town is in mourning. Access to the castle is closed during the ceremony.
I'm actually here to attend Lord Sarwick's burial.
I'm afraid that's not possible. I'm under strict orders to only allow entry to close kin. With the villagers' current grumblings, we don't want to risk problems.
Please call Maester Harwin.
The ceremony is about to begin. I doubt he'll come for a priest of R'hllor. John, go inform Maester Harwin and bring back Captain Ryman.
Good old Ryman, captain of the guard. Things certainly have changed in my absence.
What is going on here? Why has John gone for the Maester?
Ryman, it's me, Alistair.
Several hells! Alistair? Graydon, I told you only family. That excludes peasants, dogs, and cravens who abandon their families.
You blame me for leaving, but this is not the time for anger. I've come to bury my father, Ryman, not to fight with you. In honor of the past, allow me to go and pay him my respects.
Very well, you may go. Out of respect for your father.
Alistair, I knew you would come.
Maester Harwin, it's a pleasure to see you again.
The pleasure is shared. 7 gods, you have changed so much. 15 years. I had help from my contacts in Bravos to inform you of your father's death. The funeral will be in the Godswood. The ceremony has already begun.
Why is it not held at the Sept?
It would be if it were not in ruins. River Spring is suffering on all fronts, I fear. Let us go now. Come with me, Alistair. Let us speak as we walk.
What happened here, Maester? How could my father allow things to get to this point?
You know, after you left, Lord Reynold changed. He began to live more and more in the past, and stopped taking care of his duties. Your sister quickly found herself managing more than she should have.
Eliana helped my father govern?
Well, these last few months, she's practically run the house herself. In spite of her efforts, she was unable to slow the inevitable ruin of her lands without a lord. But all is not so dark. Many of your father's vassals remain faithful to their oath. They have all come to the burial in order to honor his memory. We will speak of all this again after the ceremony. Let us make haste, I beg of you.
Hello, Red Priest. I am Lady Eliana Sarwick, daughter of the late Lord Sarwick. You are just in time for the ceremony. Were you close to my father?
You have changed much in 15 years, little sister.
Alistair, why have you returned? We don't need you here.
Harwin told me of father's death. It was my duty to come.
15 years without any news, and he had to die for us to see you again. You would have done better to stay where you were.
I do not doubt that my departure was difficult for you.
Difficult? To say the least. Your disappearance was our father's ruin. Do you know how long I cried after you left? And how long I hoped for news of you?
I am sorry. I left Westeros without once turning back, it's true. I understand your reaction. It must have been unbearable for you. But I had to leave. Know that I never forgot you.
That's easy for you to say. And you should know that we here learn to live very well without you.
I understand your reaction, Eliana.
I doubt it. Go pay your last respects to father. We will speak later.
May the stranger, the eternal outcast, now guide you to the Father. And may he judge you fairly and deliver you from the torments of the seven hells. Your qualities were many. Above all else, you placed the prosperity of the family, so valued in the eyes of the Sarwicks. What you accomplished for your family, no matter the cost. By honoring your allegiance to House Lannister, our liege lords, you've ensured the castle's security. All of this, my lord, may your immortal soul attain the bliss that it so deserves.
You should follow his example.
Who is that man?
I believe that is the elder Sarwick, the one who disappeared. He has certainly changed, but I recognize him.
You desecrate our father's body that way?
I desecrated nothing. I performed the final kiss, the tribute that priests of R'hllor pay to the dead.
You may be a Red Priest, but you should respect the beliefs of Riverspring.
I did not intend to be disrespectful, little sister.
Do not think that it is easy for me to speak with you after all this time.
Please, Eliana, listen. I left Westeros without a goodbye, and you have every reason to be angry with me. 15 years ago, the war that King Robert Baratheon fought to claim the throne forced me to commit deeds which haunt me still. The very idea of returning to you was too painful. I did the only thing left for me to do. I left and began a new life elsewhere. Not long ago, I received a letter from Maester Harwin telling of Father's death. I could no longer hide myself. It was time to confront my past. What I regret the most, Eliana, is that by fleeing to the other side of the waters, it is you whom I wounded.
All these years, I have thrown a veil over your memory. And you return at the moment when everything is in turmoil. I must be alone for the moment. I will see you later, Alistair.
Take your time, little sister. I understand.
Alistair, Maester Harwin would like to speak with you. He awaits you in the castle courtyard. And if I may add, you should be ashamed of that kiss during the ceremony.
My thanks, Ravella. I shall go and see him.
I am not sure there is more to discuss between us, Alistair. I am sincerely sorry for your loss. You know how much your father meant to me. Unless you are truly ready to listen to me, it would be best that you leave.
As you wish.
Ah, Alistair, there you are. Please leave us. So, you're not too unsettled by the situation here?
What I saw of the town upon my arrival was enough. It is a disaster. The people cannot go on like this. I have heard tell that neighboring lords have taken our people's lands.
Indeed. The poverty has worsened over the years. When neighboring lords became aware of your father's situation, they took advantage of the opportunity.
But they have no right to do so. Our lieges, the Lannisters, should have been notified.
Indeed. But our relations with them have suffered since your father held Tywin Lannister responsible for your departure. It was after his death that your sister decided to reopen talks by going to see the most influential member of their family. That is why she requested an audience with Queen Cersei Lannister at the Red Keep. It was made very clear our lieges will act once our land has a new master. So your sister worked towards this end. Riverspring has belonged to House Sarwick for generations. Illyana has refused to marry a lord from any other house. So, the Queen has chosen a man for your sister.
Who is it?
Valar, your father's bastard son, your half-brother.
Valar? I left Westeros hoping never to hear that name again. It is out of the question for my sister to marry him. He shares our blood. How can the Queen condone a marriage which goes against nature?
You realize that if Illyana were to wed another lord, she would take her husband's name. Being a bastard, Valar has no family name. It was the only solution to keep Riverspring for House Sarwick.
What has changed? He was but a simple squire when he went off to war with me. Only a knight may marry a lady.
Valar rose through the ranks and was knighted. The Queen took him into her service.
But Valar served House Sarwick. How did he get close to the Queen?
Seeing him return alone from the war, your father blamed him for your disappearance. No matter how much Valar claimed to work for the prosperity of House Sarwick, your father wouldn't hear any of it. He cursed him and chased him away from Riverspring for good. Your half-brother was mad with rage and left seeking vengeance. Apparently, he spent several years at the Citadel, using education to compensate for his low birth.
A maester cannot become a lord.
He never became maester, but stopped at the rank of acolyte. He learned the art of war, studied the higher mysteries, and forged links. He was then thrown out of the citadel several years later for studying the forbidden arts. He's been a sellsword ever since. His reputation spread quickly, and royal ears heard of him. In 2 years, he went from simple soldier to the Queen's Guard. He moves in the shadows. The nobles of the court fear him.
How do you know all of this?
I went with your sister to the Red Keep in King's Landing for her audiences with the Queen. It is there that I learned what I know of him.
Valar. He has taken too much from me already. I cannot just stand by while he marries my sister.
There is something else of which we should speak. I would have liked to spare you this. I do not believe that your father's death was an accident. There are certain indications that lead me to believe that he was poisoned.
Are you sure?
Believe me, Alistair, I know this subject. The Strangler is a difficult poison to detect, but it leaves certain traces that cannot be caused by anything else.
Did father have any ongoing conflicts which could have prompted someone to murder him?
I am not certain, but there are rumors of a possible culprit.
Tell me who it is.
This may overwhelm you, but the rumors say that it is your younger brother, Gawain.
Gawain? He was but a child when I left.
He and Lord Reynold had some serious quarrels, and he disappeared on the very night of your father's death. We've had no news of him since.
Why? Why would he have done such a thing?
Maester Harwin! The people are rebelling. Rioting has broken out throughout the town.
With all of this festering discontent, it was only a matter of time before this happened.
Tell me, does the Riverspring Guard have the situation under control?
For now, they are securing the entrances to the castle. Barricades protect us from a direct attack. But the streets are inaccessible to us. We have too few men. The Guard is overwhelmed.
Who is behind this revolt?
I think I know who leads them. I crossed paths with a certain Tyrek when arriving, a rabble-rouser, telling the people to take up arms.
Tyrek? I heard some guards say that he was getting people worked up in the marketplace.
How did things get this far out of hand?
Well, the lords left the castle after the burial, with their fine clothes and all. Whereas the villagers are starving, all of this flaunted wealth must have pushed them too far. Everything erupted. The villagers began to attack the lords, taking them hostage.
You said that the revolt is being led from the main square. We must go there immediately.
Captain Ryman says that it's impossible. Our men are barely managing to keep them at bay at the castle doors. There are not enough of us to attempt an escape.
Where is Captain Ryman?
He is at the doors. He's the one that ordered the barricades.
7 hells! If Ryman deals with it, the revolt will end in flames and bloodshed.
Riverspring has already suffered too much. I must join Ryman. Riverspring needs me. I will not watch our land fall into ruins without acting.
Very well, but I beg you to be careful. You are a Sarwick. Act as a liege, Lord Alster, and know that your acts will have consequences.
I will do what must be done.
I am sure you will.